Listen, I'm going to tell you something that will probably piss off half the internet. Society has a story about men who stay single. They're painted as broken, scared of commitment, or just can't get a date. But what if that whole story is a lie? What if, for a huge number of men, staying single isn't a failure, but a rational choice for a better life? We're about to expose the real reasons why more men are opting out, and trust me, it's not what you've been told. In a world where you can supposedly connect with anyone with a single click, something fascinating is happening. More and more men are just quitting. They're getting off the hamster wheel of chasing a partner. And this isn't some fringe group of guys living in their mom's basement. This is a quiet, deliberate choice. It's a psychological shift that's changing what it even means to be a man today. Forget the stereotypes. We're done with shallow excuses like commitment phobia. We're going deep into the real drivers, the psychology, the societal pressures, the personal math that leads a man to consciously choose to be alone. This is about men who are picking peace over partnership, purpose over passion, and freedom over fusion. You see, what looks like indifference from the outside is actually a rich internal world of calculation and self-preservation. This isn't about men who are single by accident, they're single by strategy. They are the architects of their own solitude, and the reasons are way more compelling than society gives them credit for. We're going to break down the 7 core psychological reasons men are choosing to stay single. We'll unpack everything from the programming in their childhood to the stone-cold economic facts that make being single the only logical choice. This is the real psychology of the modern single man. The first, and maybe the most powerful reason, is the active pursuit of peace. For a growing army of men, being single isn't an empty life, it's a tranquil one. It's choosing a calm harbor over a sea that's guaranteed to be stormy. This isn't about avoiding love, it's about prioritizing your own sanity. Let's be honest, in this hyper-connected, drama-obsessed world, a relationship can feel like a second full-time job, one that you don't get paid for. It demands constant emotional negotiation, compromise, and crisis management. For any guy who's been through a chaotic relationship or just watched his friends go through the meat grinder, the appeal of a life without that conflict is massive. They want a sanctuary, a place where their energy isn't being constantly siphoned off by arguments, drama, or the pressure to manage someone else's feelings. This isn't just about avoiding fights, it's about autonomy, freedom. Singlehood gives you a level of freedom that's impossible in a partnership. It's the freedom to pack up and move to a new city for a job just because you want to. It's the freedom to spend a whole weekend locked in on a project without feeling guilty. It's the freedom to decide what's for dinner without a 45-minute debate. This isn't selfishness. It's a deep need for control over your own life, and that need is fundamentally at odds with being tied to someone else. Think about it like this. Your emotional energy is a finite resource. It's a bank account. Your job, your goals, your health, they all make withdrawals. For a lot of men, the potential cost of a relationship, the emotional labor, the compromises, the guaranteed conflict, feels like an overdraft they're just not willing to risk anymore. They see their solitude not as emptiness, but as a space they've deliberately built for peace and focus. It's an active choice to save their energy for themselves. This isn't a rejection of women, it's an embrace of personal peace. It's the realization that a quiet life, a controlled life, is often a happier life. And in this crazy world, peace is a luxury that more men are deciding they can only afford by staying single. To really get what's going on, we have to look deeper than conscious choice. We have to look at the subconscious software that's running in the background. And one of the biggest, most invisible programs is what psychologists call an avoidant attachment style. Here's the simple version. Attachment theory says our first relationships, usually with our parents, create a blueprint for how we connect with people as adults. But for a lot of guys, especially if their need for affection as a kid was met with rejection or distance, they learn a powerful lesson. To be safe, I have to rely on myself. Getting close to people is dangerous and it hurts. That's the seed of the avoidant attachment style. A man with this programming often grows up to be the poster boy for independence. He's the lone wolf, the guy who seems perfectly happy on his own. He can be charming, have a lot of friends, but there's an invisible wall around his heart. He'll let you get close, but he won't let you in. It's not because he's a monster. It's a defense mechanism burned into his brain. To him, real intimacy, the kind that requires you to be vulnerable, feels like a threat. It sets off a silent alarm that screams, "Danger! Pull back! You're going to get hurt!" You see this play out in a predictable cycle. A guy with this style might want a connection. He starts dating someone, and it's great. But as soon as it starts to get serious, as soon as real emotional closeness is required, his internal alarm goes off. He feels trapped, suffocated. To deal with it, he deactivates. He pulls away emotionally. He starts criticizing his partner, finding flaws in everything to justify his need for distance. He'll say things like, "I'm feeling smothered," or "I'm losing my freedom." That's just the sound of the wall going up, brick by brick. He's not trying to be cruel. In his mind, he's just retreating to safety, his own independence. This is why so many of these guys end up in a string of short-term flings, or just choose to be single. Being single is the ultimate form of self-protection. It completely removes the threat of getting trapped and the risk of being rejected. By staying single, he stays in control. His independence is safe. The choice to be single, in this case, isn't about loving solitude. It's about a deep, subconscious fear of what happens when the walls come down. We are in the middle of a quiet revolution in what it means to be a man. For generations, there was a rigid life script. Go to school, get a stable job, get married, buy a house, be the provider. Your worth as a man was tied directly to how well you played that role. But men are tearing up that script. They're refusing to play a role in a play they no longer believe in, and it's not just rebellion, it's a deep, internal shift in values. Modern masculinity is becoming broader. Men are starting to prioritize their own growth, their purpose, and their mental health over outdated social rules. They're realizing their identity isn't defined by their relationship status, but by their character and their impact on the world. The new script says, become a whole person first. You can't build a healthy relationship on a broken foundation. A lot of men are consciously choosing to be single as a period of intense self-development. They're building their careers, getting their money right, and most importantly, learning to be emotionally literate. They're going to therapy, learning to actually feel their feelings, and healing their own damn trauma instead of outsourcing it to a partner. They know that the old model of bottling everything up is a recipe for disaster in a modern relationship. Choosing to be single is how they attend this school of self-awareness without the pressure of a partnership. On top of that, the very definition of a successful life is changing. It's not just the white picket fence anymore. For many men, success is building a business, traveling the world, or mastering a skill. These things take insane focus and energy, resources that a serious relationship almost always drains. Staying single is a strategic move to invest everything in yourself and your mission. It's a trade-off. They're deciding that the fulfillment from their own achievements is right now more important than the potential fulfillment from a partnership. This isn't about rejecting relationships forever. For most, it's about timing. They're rejecting the pressure to pair up on society's schedule. They want to get into a relationship not because they're supposed to, but because they're genuinely ready and whole. This period of being single is the fire where they forge the man they actually want to be, not the man society told them they had to be. If what we're talking about is resonating with you, if you've ever felt these pressures or made these choices yourself, take a moment to like this video. It helps us know we're on the right track, and more importantly, share your own story in the comments below. What has your experience been? The comment section is a place for a real conversation about this, and your perspective is a valuable part of it. Now, let's get back to it. We live in an age of insane choice, and nowhere is this more psychologically damaging than in modern dating. This is the paradox of choice, and it's a huge force pushing men toward the simplicity of being single. Dating apps, which promise to make finding a partner easier, have had the exact opposite effect for most men. They've turned dating into a video game. Potential partners are just a deck of cards to be swiped and judged in a fraction of a second. This creates a cognitive overload, a decision fatigue. When you're faced with an endless stream of profiles, your brain just shuts down. Instead of feeling empowered, men feel paralyzed. There's always that nagging feeling that a better option is just one more swipe away, which makes it impossible to commit to or even appreciate the person in front of you. This digital maze is also a deeply demoralizing place for men. Listen, the data is clear. Men make up the vast majority of users on these apps, with some studies showing a 2-to-1 ratio or worse. This creates a hyper-competitive market where the average guy feels invisible, getting few matches or messages. This is a stark contrast to many women who report being overwhelmed. That constant low-level rejection is poison for your self-esteem. It leads to anxiety, depression, and the feeling that you're just not good enough. After a while, the whole thing feels less like a search for love and more like a soul-crushing part-time job with a 99% failure rate. The experience is transactional, not relational. Conversations are shallow, ghosting is normal, and the pressure to be perfect is immense. A lot of men just feel like the effort it takes to stand out and keep a conversation going isn't worth the pathetic return. The cycle of swiping, matching, and getting disappointed leads to total burnout. Faced with that, being single starts to look like a peaceful paradise. It's a conscious decision to get off the anxiety-inducing hamster wheel of digital dating. Why put yourself through constant judgment and rejection when you can invest that energy into things that actually make you happy? Your hobbies, your friends, your career. Choosing to be single becomes an act of psychological self-preservation. It's not giving up. It's taking back your mental health from a system that promises connection but usually just delivers frustration. Beyond all the internal psychology, there's a cold, hard external force at work: economics. In the 21st century, choosing a long-term partner isn't just an emotional decision. It is one of the biggest financial gambles a man will ever make. And for many, the math just doesn't work anymore. The cost of living has gone through the roof, but wages have been flat for decades. Housing, education, even just going on a few dates, it all puts a massive strain on a guy's finances. There's still a huge expectation for men to be the providers, or at least major contributors. Many guys feel like they can't even think about a serious relationship until they're financially secure, a goalpost that keeps moving further and further away. They look at their debt, their income, and the cost of building a life with someone, and conclude they just can't afford it. Staying single becomes a pragmatic financial move. But the risk isn't just about the cost of getting in, it's about the catastrophic cost of getting out. Divorce rates are still incredibly high, and the financial destruction for men can be absolute. The fear of losing your assets, of paying alimony and child support for years, of being dragged through legal battles, it's a massive deterrent. This isn't some abstract fear. Guys have seen their friends get wiped out, or they saw it happen to their own dads. They see marriage not as a safe harbor, but as a potential minefield, and staying single is the only guaranteed safe path. This fear is cranked up to 11 by a legal landscape that many men feel is stacked against them. Debates about family law and division of assets make them feel incredibly vulnerable. The fear of the worst-case scenario is enough to make them avoid the game altogether. So the choice to stay single is often a cold, calculated decision based on financial self-preservation. It's a risk management strategy. By staying single, a man keeps total control over his money. His earnings are his. His future is secure. He's insulated from the financial apocalypse of a relationship going bad. In a world this uncertain, that level of control is priceless. It's not romantic, but for a growing number of men, the peace of mind that comes from being financially autonomous is a trade they are more than willing to make. Listen, it would be a lie to say that every man who chooses this path is perfectly happy all the time. The truth is, many single men live in a state of ambivalence, caught in the gap between the freedom they love and the loneliness that inevitably creeps in. On one hand, you have the undeniable power of autonomy, the freedom to live your life completely on your own terms. It's the quiet satisfaction of an uninterrupted weekend, the thrill of a spontaneous trip, the focus of pouring all your energy into your mission. This independence becomes a core part of their identity. It's a source of strength and pride. But the human need for connection is a primal force, and even in the strongest fortress of solitude, loneliness is going to knock on the door. Research confirms that even though they value their independence, many single men have an unmet need for intimacy. They miss the unique companionship a partner provides, the inside jokes, the shared memories, the comfort of knowing someone has your back. For some, especially as they get older, this lack of intimacy can be a persistent ache that the joys of freedom can't always fix. This creates a psychological tug of war. A guy can spend his week feeling powerful and focused, grateful for his freedom, and then get hit by a wave of crushing loneliness on a quiet Saturday night. He might scroll through a dating app for a minute, only to be instantly reminded of the frustration that made him quit in the first place, which just reinforces his decision to stay single. This is the ambivalent heart, wanting connection, but preferring independence. Understanding this isn't a sign of weakness, it's the honest reality for the modern single man. It's admitting that no choice comes without a price. Choosing to be single means choosing peace and freedom, but it might also mean accepting periods of loneliness. Choosing a partnership might offer intimacy, but it demands you sacrifice a huge degree of that personal freedom. Seeing this complexity is crucial. It moves us past the simple idea of the happy single versus the lonely single. It shows us these men as complex human beings making a tough, nuanced choice in a world with no easy answers. Maybe the most radical shift happening is how singlehood itself is being reframed. It's no longer seen as a waiting room for a relationship. It's becoming a valid and powerful life path on its own. This is the rise of the self-partnered man, a guy who isn't just okay with being single, he's actively using it as a tool for profound growth. This mindset is a complete break from the old story that a man is incomplete until he finds a partner. Instead, it says a man must first become whole on his own. It's a mature strategy that sees being single not as a failure, but as a deliberate chapter for building a rock-solid inner world. It's a time to develop the exact skills you'd need for a healthy relationship anyway: emotional stability, self-awareness, and a strong sense of who you are. Men on this path aren't just waiting for life to happen, they are actively building it. They invest their time, money, and energy into themselves with the same seriousness someone else would invest in a marriage. These are the guys at the gym at 6 a.m., not for vanity, but for discipline. They're the ones taking classes, learning a new language, or launching a side hustle, not just for money, but to expand what they're capable of. They are becoming their own emotional anchor. They recognize that the old model, where men outsource their emotional lives to their wives, is fragile and weak. He learns to sit with his own feelings, to figure them out, and to build a support system of male friends and mentors, so he's not dependent on one person for his stability. By choosing this path, these men are changing the entire equation. If and when they decide to date again, they're coming from a position of wholeness, not neediness. They aren't looking for someone to complete them because they're already complete. They aren't looking for someone to fix them because they've done the hard work of fixing themselves. They're looking for a partner who can complement their already fulfilling life, not become the center of it. This transforms being single from a state of lack into a state of abundance, an abundance of time, freedom, and opportunity. It's a powerful, conscious choice to become the best version of yourself, for yourself. And it proves that a single life can be just as meaningful and fulfilling as a life in a partnership. As we've gone through the real psychology of why men stay single, one truth becomes crystal clear. This isn't a story of failure. It's a story of conscious, rational choice. It's a new narrative being written by men who are adapting to the insane pressures and opportunities of the modern world. We've seen how the pursuit of peace is a sanctuary. We've uncovered how subconscious programming can build a wall of self-protection. We've explored how men are shredding the old scripts of masculinity and choosing to build themselves into whole individuals first. We've faced the digital maze of dating apps that deliver more fatigue than fulfillment. We've acknowledged the cold, hard economic risks that make commitment a gamble most rational men won't take. We sat with the reality that this freedom often comes with a side of loneliness. And finally, we've met the self-partnered man, who is turning singlehood into a journey of strength. This isn't about one single thing. It's a convergence of psychology, economics, and a total reevaluation of what a good life even looks like. It's a shift from asking, "Who can I be with?" to asking, "Who do I want to be?" The rise of the single man is not a crisis that needs to be solved. It's a phenomenon that needs to be understood. It challenges us to look past the dumb stereotypes and listen to the powerful stories of men who are choosing a different path. A path that, for them, is paved with purpose, peace, and a profound commitment to themselves. This conversation doesn't end here. The goal of this channel is to explore these complex topics with the depth they deserve. If you found this analysis valuable, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our future explorations. Check out our other video on the changing dynamics of modern relationships right here. And now, I want to leave you with a final question to carry into the comments. What do you believe is the single biggest factor, psychological or societal, driving this trend today? Share your thoughts below. Thank you for watching.